Hello and welcome to this SAP ERP new user training for beginners. Now this course is mandatory and important for anyone that wants to get a skill in SAP ERP. And I will be taking you on this course. My name is Patrick Ime. I'm a certified SAP ERP consultant with vast experience across several industries. In this course, we're going to be having several sections, actually 2 sessions. We'll have the introduction session, and then we'll have the practical session. So I would want you to watch this video to the end. This video costs $50. $50. That is what we sell this course. But probably if you're watching this, you are getting it for free. And I would advise that you stay to the end and give it all the seriousness that is required. And I want to assure you that you get good value for your time. Now we're going to look at what is ERP, and then we will look at the SAP ERP System Landscape. We'll also look at the SAP ERP System-wide Concept, the SAP ERP document structure, digital transformation with SAP ERP, why learn SAP ERP business processes, SAP ERP functional and technical components, about SAP ERP, about SAP ERP modules, and then recent business trends favoring the ERP growth. And then for the second session, we will be looking at the navigation of the SAP environment. So we're going to be doing it practically, and you would have that experience. Now it is very important for you to note that in this video training, you would be guided. After going through this training, you will understand what the ERP stands for. You will understand the system landscape of the ERP, of the SAP ERP, the document structure, and very importantly, you are going to understand or be guided on how to select a particular ERP course that you would probably want to learn more. Alright, so it's going to be a good guide for you. So let's get started immediately. Now this training is for those who want to stay ahead of their colleagues. It's for professionals. So if you are not that type of professional, or you are not such a person that wants to stay ahead, that wants to be ahead of the trend or take advantage of the trend, then this course is not for you. But if you are that a person that wants to be ahead, wants to have the advantage, you don't want change. Change is constant, but when it comes with 2 faces. One, for those who are prepared, they would be favored with the change, they will be promoted with the change. But for those who are not prepared, who are not proactive, they would suffer loss when change comes. But change will always come. Professionals are proactive, and so I want to strongly believe that you are a professional. For you to go through this training, you have the interest to want to get better in your career, because reality is that the digital transformation is real. The digital transformation is real. All right, so let's go into this. What is ERP? ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise, which is an organization, their resources being planned. It is a software system that is used by organizations to automate, integrate, and optimize their business processes. So it's used to automate. Automate means that you're no longer using paper. All right, you are now using computer systems. Now, beyond that, it integrates the business processes and then optimize it, which means you can do things faster, more convenient, and also more profitable. This implies that the critical business processes of these organizations run on their ERP system. All processes from sales, finance, purchasing, inventory, warehouse, logistics, manufacturing or production, plant maintenance, quality management, human resources, processes, etc. are all automated, integrated, and optimized. So if you look at this, you're going to wonder, if you come into an environment where they use an ERP, where are you going to fit in if you don't have such skill? And one thing I want to assure you is that more and more organizations around the world are adopting the use of ERP because of its benefits. All right, it is helping organizations to gain more visualization of their business processes and increase profit margins. All right, so I'm sure you must have seen SAP ERP. You also would have seen SAP S4HANA. But the two differences majorly are SAP ECC. That is, when you see most times say SAP ERP, they are referring to SAP ECC, all right, and SAP S4HANA. So sometimes people ask, what is the difference? Now, I'm going to put it in a very simple term. SAP S4HANA is just an advancement of the SAP ECC. What is ECC? ECC means ERP Central Component. ECC means ERP Central Component. Right? Now, SAP ECC and SAP S4HANA has about 90% similarity. In a very simple terms, I want to say that the major difference, the major technology that differentiates SAP S4HANA from SAP ECC is that SAP S4HANA has a web interface called the Fiori app. All right, so the Fiori app allows users to access the SAP system from any location using their web browser. So it enhances work mobility. All right, so that is the strong advantage of the SAP S4HANA over SAP ECC. Now, there are other technical differences, right? But SAP S4HANA is the future, while ECC is still the most popular SAP ERP that is being used. Today, about 80% of the SAP customers still use or run their business processes on SAP ECC, while some of them, about 20%, have moved to SAP S4HANA, and most of the new installations today are done with SAP S4HANA. So you want to say, which skill would I go for? Which one should I train for? Okay, now SAP ECC trainings are cheaper to SAP S4HANA. If I was in your position, which training would I go for? Well, it depends on affordability. If you can afford the S4HANA training, then you should go for S4HANA. But then, if you cannot afford the S4HANA training, you can go for ECC. About 80% of SAP customers today still use ECC. Now, if you know how to use ECC, you may not need much training on how to use the S4HANA. The difference would be, the only place of training would be using the Fiori app. Otherwise, it's almost the same thing. So, the shortcut of learning SAP S4HANA is to learn ECC. Out of 10 jobs, probably 2 would request for S4HANA, while 8 will still be ECC. So I think I've been able to give you some tip for you to make your decision. Now let's look at the SAP ERP System Landscape. Now the System Landscape, it's the way the SAP systems are structured within an organization. So we have the development system, which is usually you can get an abbreviation of DEV. Then we have the quality assurance system, which is either QA or QAS in abbreviation. And then you have the production system. Now the development system is used to customize and model business processes based on an organization's requirement. Now, people usually have access to the development system are the SAP consultants. All right, that is where they customize and they model your business process based on the organization's requirement. Now, once that is achieved, these customized processes are moved or transported to a quality assurance system where it will be tested. Now, on the quality assurance system, that is where you carry out your testing. You do the unit testing there. You do the integration testing there. You also do regression testings there. You do the user acceptance testing there. And the quality assurance is also used for training. The quality assurance is also used for training. The quality assurance system is also used for training. Then you have the production system. Now, once everything is fine, you move it to the production system where you carry out real transactions, real business transactions, or real organizational transactions. Now, you don't do training or testing on the production system. Everything you do there, you account for it. They are subject to audit. So that is how the SAP ERP landscape is structured. Now, what that means, now this is my logon, right? This is my logon. Now, you can see here that I have a development system, I have a QA system, I have a production system. All right. Now, all these are different systems. Okay, this is another QA system. All right. Now, let me double click on it, and then you will see. Oh, sorry. I think my internet is not active. Let me just put on my internet, and let me connect to the internet. Alright, I've connected my internet. So let's double click on this. So let's log on to this QA system. So if I double click on it, it's going to connect me to now. So the production system, the QA system, the development system all looks the same, just that the activities that are done in them are different. All right, so this is ECC. So you can see this is ECC, right? Let me go back and log on to this S4HANA system, and then you see that it's the same thing. Okay, so this is the ECC. I will just close this, and let me. All right, so this is S4HANA. So you see the same client, the same username, password, just that of course the interface design looks a bit different. Okay, so this is the system, the system, system landscape. Okay, so we have production, we have development here, we have QA. All right. Now let's talk about the SAP ERP System-wide Concept. Now the SAP ERP System-wide Concept has 3 levels. You have the organizational structures, you have the master records, and then you have the transactions. Now the organizational structures contain several organizational levels. All right. Now these are levels based on how the company is structured. Now, you know, in a company you have different locations, you have subsidiaries, you have branches, you have warehouse, plants, factories, all right? And then you have departments, all right? So the organizational structure, or you could also call it the enterprise structure, you know, helps to structure your physical business on the SAP ERP. So the way your physical business is structured, or your physical organization, it is also mapped within the SAP ERP that same way. All right. Then you have the master records. The master records are used to keep data. They are used to manage data of a particular entity for a long period of time. All right. So for instance, you have material master record. It's used to manage the data for your materials, the material items that you use either for procurement, for sales, for repairs, or whatever you do. You have employee master data that is used to manage your employees in HR. You have sales customer master data. Now for the S4HANA, the customer master data and the vendor master data are put together. All right, so you have the vendor master data for managing the information or data of your vendors, and customer master data for managing the data of your customers, and so on. You have many master data. You have equipment master data for plant maintenance, and so on. All right, so then you have transactions. Transactions are the day-to-day activities that you carry out. For instance, you raise a purchase requisition. That is a transaction. You display a purchase order. That is a transaction. You change a sales order. That is a transaction. You clear a vendor's payment. That is a transaction. You open a general ledger. That is a transaction. All right. So we have several transactions, and they all have the data that they generate. All right. So from time to time, you should know if the data is a transactional data, if it is a master record data, or if it's an organizational structure data. Now, most of the activities that are done at the organizational level structure in terms of customizing are done by the consultants. Now, customization, we have 3 levels of skill. We have 3 major levels of skill. We have the end users, we have the super users, and then we have the consultants. Now, the end users, and what they do is to run transactions. Okay, an end user can create a purchase order. An end user can create a work order notification. An end user can create a production order. An end user can create a sales order. All right. So these are transactions. But then an end user does not have the skill and knowledge to manage master records. So we have this other skill level, which is called the super user. The super users are like the key business process owners. They are the process champions. So they understand, they are exposed to the end-to-end process of whatever line of business that they want to train on. All right, they are exposed to the end-to-end and also how to manage the master records. So the super users can actually, in an organization, implement certain business rules. All right. So then you have the consultants. The consultants is a more advanced skill. The consultants also have the knowledge, the training to be able to sit for a certification, the SAP Global Certification Exam. And once they pass it, they become certified SAP consultants. All right, so they can actually be advisors to organizations. They can help organizations to implement their SAP system, to customize business processes, model and customize business processes. They can enhance business processes, implement changes, and so many things that they can do. The SAP consultant skill can also work as a super user and can work as an end user. Why the super user can work as a super user and work as an end user only? The super user cannot work as a consultant because they don't have that such skill. The end user cannot work as a super user because they don't have such skill, right? So that is about the system-wide concept. You have the organizational structures, you have the master records, and then you have the transactions. These are the three areas that data are supplied when in your SAP ERP system. Now let's talk about the document structure. Now the SAP system have a document structure which is important you understand. Now if you understand this, using the system is going to be very easy for you. All right, so first we're talking about the document levels. SAP ERP document structure has two major levels. All right. You have the header level and the item level. I'm going to show you that in the system. All right, so look at this. This is a purchase order within the SAP system. Now you can see we have header, we have item overview. All right, so these are the two levels. Now this is the header. This is the header, and these are the tabs you have at the header level. Okay, so this is the header. All right, and then you have the item. Now the item, this is the item overview where you impute your different, and then you have the item details here. All right, so we have two levels. We have the header level, and then we have the header level, and then we have the item level. Now all documents work with this same document structure of header level and item level. So whatever you apply at the header affects all the items. All right, so if you want to apply something that will be unique to a particular item, it means you have to apply it at the item level. So there's principles to that. All right, so but then the sales document is the only document that has 3 levels. Other documents have 2 levels, header and item, but the sales document has 3 levels. Then we talk about the document type. Each SAP ERP transaction requires a document to execute business process transactions. The document type to be used will determine the type of business transaction that can be executed. Alright, so and the document type also determines the document number assignment and the number range. And also it also determines the allowed item category. Okay, so let's look at that again in the SAP system. Now these are the document types. Now this shows that this particular transaction or document that I want to use to create the purchase order is a standard purchase order document type. Now if I click here, these are different document types. Alright, these are different document types. If for instance I need to create a service, I probably will be using this. Okay, now you can see that the number here, this is where the number is supposed to be. Okay, now the number assignment means is it internally assigned or externally assigned. Number assignment, when it is externally assigned, that means the user have to input it manually. It is called external number assignment. Now when the system would have to generate the number, then it is called internal number assignment. Right, and then of course you have the number range, the range at which you can use for the numbering. Now that is determined by the document type. Also the item category is determined by the document type. Alright, which items are type of items are allowed. Now you see this one is a standard, so it has several item categories. But if I would change this to maybe STO. STO is for stock transfer. All right, if I would change this to STO, now you see that even this vendor will change. You see the vendor has changed to supplying plant. And then if you come to the item category here, you would see that you don't have that number of items that we had in the standard. All right, so you see I just changed the document type to a stock transfer order. Okay, so that is about number range. This is where you input the number if you have to externally input the number. Otherwise, when you save, the system will generate a number for you. Okay, so that is how you set the number. That is what the document type would do for you. Now you have the number assignments. I just showed you already. There are 2 types of number assignments: the external number assignment and internal number assignment. Then of course I also showed you the item categories. Item category, this classifies the line item and controls how the system will process the line item. For example, item category U is used for stock transfer and D is used for service, and the system will process them that way. All right, digital transformation with SAP ERP. Now what is digital transformation, DT? Digital transformation is the integration of innovative digital technologies into all areas of a business to improve the customer experience and core operations. It's about finding new ways to generate value and promote overall business efficiency, and this is done using information technology. To build a cognitive enterprise, it's important to upgrade your business landscape. SAP ERP software is used by many organizations as the foundation to advance their digital progression. The ERP is now becoming the major work ecosystem. All right, which means when you go to an organization, most of the work that are done, the tasks that are carried out are done on the ERP system. So the ERP is fast becoming the major echo work the major work ecosystem in organizations. So if you don't have that skill by now, 3 streams of where SAP ERP accelerates digital transformation, DT. 1, in material flow. 2, information flow. 3, financial flow. All right, these are areas where the SAP ERP has been able to accelerate digital transformation. All right, so we have we can talk about this more later. So why learn SAP ERP business processes? Digital shift and alignment. Career requirements in organizations have changed because of accelerated digital alignment caused by the COVID-19 disruption. More and more organizations now require ERP to power their business from any location. Interestingly, but not surprisingly, businesses are reevaluating their work processes in light to this crisis. The urgent need to work digitally is causing them to prioritize digital transformation. This implies that if by now you have not aligned your career with a digital skill, especially ERP, why ERP? Because ERP is becoming the work ecosystem, all right, where all your tasks are being done. All right, so if you don't have the ERP skill right now, you will soon be unattractive in the work marketplace, and that is the reality. All right, so don't allow change to affect you negatively. Every professional you see, everybody that is being successful in their career, put extra effort, pay extra price. So don't procrastinate. Pay the extra price. Get the ERP skill now, and with us, you would get the best wherever you are in the world. All right, we run our trainings majorly online, and it is instructor led, very interactive, and you will have all the sessions recorded. All right, so especially for those who are not in our location, Nigeria, we have people. We have several people, participants from the United States, from the United Kingdom, several countries in Europe, Canada, and other African countries. So we have people from everywhere. Okay, so don't hesitate. That is the thing. It's not mandatory that you would have to do the training with us. Just that if you really want hands-on training, I think we give the best hands-on training and will guide you on how to use it in your workplace or how to get a job. Okay, and even if your organization is not using ERP currently, you need to get that skill. Prepare yourself. When you present your CV anywhere, people will respect you when they see that you have ERP skill, even if they are not using it. There's a perception you create. There is an image you create when you show that you are compliant with the current trend of career skill. So I really encourage you to go ahead, get this skill now. With the current disruption caused by COVID-19 in the workplace, it has become pertinent for any smart professional to skill up to align with the current digital reality. Currently, the demand for ERP solution has increased because of the following reasons: work from home, need for increased business process visibility, cut down on expenditure, innovation, etc. And the benefits of acquiring the ERP skill: you are exposed to global best practice on enterprise business processes. Yes, because for any process or line of business that you want to, which we're going to discuss shortly, you are exposed to the best practice globally. You become compliant with the current trend in required skill set for today's work environment. It's a strategy to become more relevant in your organization if they currently use any ERP solution. You become an indispensable asset to your organization if they currently use SAP ERP. This skill will give you an edge in the labor marketplace and during interviews. It gives you the leverage to negotiate for good salary. The SAP solution consultant skill is a proof against job insecurity because you can actually work with independently without working under any organization. Now you have the functional and the technical component. The SAP is divided into two areas. You have the functional area, which is the business side, and then you have the technical side. Actually, the SAP system, the IT function is actually very minimal. It is more for people in the non-IT environment. All right, so you have the basis. Basis is for IT. They are system administrators. ABAP is for programmers. And then you have functional areas. You have financial accounting, control, HCM, that's human capital management, or HR, materials management, sales and distribution. That's the functional areas. We're going to talk about that much more later. Then SAP is, we've been talking about ERP. I also defined what ERP is, but then SAP is the company that owns that SAP ERP. Okay, so ERP is a software, while SAP is a company. All right, is a vendor, is an ERP vendor. Okay, but the thing is that SAP has the most robust and best ERP software solution in the market. SAP has the largest ERP market share worldwide. That means most organizations that use ERP use SAP. All right, so you can see the statistics here. These show you some of the impact of the SAP ERP in the market. Now, about the modules, I think this concerns you very well. First is the SAP ERP Materials Management module. It's called MM for short. The SAP ERP Materials Management module is the backbone of the supply chain in organizations. It is used to ensure the availability of material items at the right time and right price. SAP ERP comprises of the following business processes: purchasing, inventory management, logistics, invoice verification, physical inventory, MRP, etc. All right, MRP means material requirement planning. And this is for supply chain professionals, procurement professionals, purchasing professionals, inventory or store management professionals, anyone who aspires to build career in any of the above. Next is SAP ERP Financial Accounting, FI for short. The SAP ERP Financial Accounting module powers and controls all financial transactions in organizations. The combination of SAP ERP Financial Accounting and Management Accounting or control is called FICO. Probably if you have seen FICO, it's just a combination of two modules. The SAP ERP FI, which is Financial Accounting, has some of the following financial business processes: account payable processes, account receivable, you have general ledger, postings, and many more functionalities. It's for accountants, auditors, and anyone who aspire to build a career in any of the above career area. All right, so if you are in the financial services, all right, the SAP ERP Financial Accounting module is suitable for you. SAP ERP Plant Maintenance PM for short. The SAP ERP Plant Maintenance module is used to manage the planning, maintenance, and repair of organizations' assets like equipment, functional locations, buildings, machines. The SAP ERP PM includes the following planning, maintenance, and repair processes: breakdown, corrective, preventive maintenance, equipment installation and dismantling processes, functional location planning, and so many more. It's for engineers, technicians, asset managers, and anyone who aspires to build a career in any of the above career area. SAP ERP Human Capital Management, HCM or HR. The SAP ERP Human Capital Management, HCM, or Human Resources, is an important module in SAP. It is also known as SAP Human Resources Management Systems or SAP Human Resources. Alright, the SAP ERP HCM or HR is used to automate the management of employee from hire to fire and all other functions including payroll. It covers processes for organization management, personnel administration, time management, payroll, travel management, and so on. It is for talent hunters, HR professionals, admin and personnel managers, and anyone who aspires to build career in any of the above areas. You have SAP Sales and Distribution, which is SD for short. Sales and distribution is part of the supply chain process and automates the sales order to cash process. The SAP ERP SD covers processes like quotations, sales orders, sales quotations, inquiries, outbound deliveries, contract management, billing, and so on. And of course, customer complaint process, direct sales process, and so many processes. It's for sales and marketing professionals, supply chain professionals, and anyone who who wants to build career in any of the above career areas. Then other ERP modules are SAP ERP Quality Management, QM for short. This deals with the processes of carrying quality checks. So for those in quality management or quality assurance, this is for you. You have SAP ERP Production Planning, PP. This deals with management of the SAP, of your production processes. It helps to manage to plan production processes for both product and labor, and of course for people who are into production supervisors, line managers, and so on. This is for you. Then you have the SAP ERP Financial Accounting and Control, combination of financial accounting and control module. This deals with financial transactions and data with internal accounting. You have SAP ERP Warehouse Management. Now the SAP Warehouse Management deals with storage management of materials. Alright, how to manage your warehouse. So those who are in warehouse management, logistics is good for you. SAP ERP Logistics and supply chain people too. SAP ERP Logistics Execution handles movement of goods from storage to delivery and transportation planning. So if you are within transportation planning, logistics, supply chain, this is good for you. You have SAP Business Intelligence for business analysts. All right, to analyze data and convert the same to information. Now this is cross-functional because it is both functional and technical. So under the technical modules, you have the SAP Basis. These are system or database administrators. So you should have a background in IT on how to manage servers. Alright, people who are Linux administrators, Oracle database administrators, Microsoft database administrators, and so on. So this is a good one for you. Then you have the SAP ABAP. These are programmers. All right. Now, if you should have a programming background for you to take this course. Then, of course, the business intelligence, which I said is cross-functional and is good for people. IT can take it. Business people can take it. If you want to be a business analyst, the business intelligence module is a good one for you. Now, this is the recent trends that favor the ERP growth. So ERP will continue to grow. ERP, this skill, that is why you need to get the skill, because it's not going to stop at any time. Remember, we're going to have the navigation. We're going to have navigation after this shortly. All right, so we are looking at the business process reengineering. Is one of the things that are going to continue to promote ERP. Organizations from time to time would want to re-engineer their business process. Then globalization. Businesses are becoming more global in scope. People are demanding packaged corporate applications that are available for a variety of languages with support for multiple currencies, and that is what the ERP brings. Then integration. You are able to implement business rules and manage information from one location, so it improves your data integrity, decision making, and so many other things. So this is amazing, and I always tell people ERP will always be as long as the world continue to run businesses and continue to own organizations. All right, so that will be all for the introduction. And next we want to look at the navigation, SAP ERP navigation. All right, now the SAP ERP navigation, before you start, you need to be aware of these components. All right, first is the SAP GUI, and then the SAP log on. Now these are the shortcuts that you see on your system when the GUI has been installed. Now what is GUI? You can access SAP systems using front-end programs with a variety of designs. Almost all SAP components are, however, accessible using general front-end program, the SAP Graphical User Interface. So GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. Several variants of the SAP GUI are available. These variants are all graphically equivalent but adopted for use in different environments. All right, so now you see probably this is what you could see this in an organization if they have not updated their SAP GUI to the latest. Now this is the current design. All right, so this is what you double click on your desktop. This is the shortcut design icon rather. All right, so when you double click it, if it is this, it will bring you to this environment, this kind of design. All right, and then you click on log on. So it's still the same principle, just the designs are different. Okay, when you click on this, it brings you to this, and then you select the system, and then you click on log on. Now depending on the system that you'll be logging on to. Now when you click on log on, it brings you to this environment which you have seen earlier on. I've shown you both that of S4HANA and ECC. All right, now once you do that, you input your username, you input your password, the client number, and then you click enter. And then once you do that, it logs you on to the SAP system. Right, so let's go into the system and do some navigation now. All right, so you log in. Once you log into the SAP system, the first place you log on to is called the SAP Easy Access. All right, now this is very important, especially when you go for an interview and you're asked what is the first place you log on to. The first place you log on to is called the SAP Easy Access. The SAP Easy Access. All right, now you have here is the SAP menu. Okay, This is the SAP menu, and then these are the work areas. These are the different work areas. We have 3 operational work areas: logistics, accounting, and human resources. All right, these are the 3 work areas. Others are used for administrative purpose. Okay, now let's look at logistics work area. So you have modules under the work area. This is materials management, sales, logistics execution, production, plant maintenance, customer service, quality management, and so on. You have accounting work area. Under accounting, you have financial accounting, financial supply chain management, controlling, enterprise controlling, strategic enterprise management, investment management, project systems, and so on. Then under human resources, you have personnel management, you have time management, payroll, you have training and events, you have organizational management, travel management, and so on. Okay, so these are the 3 operational areas, work areas. Okay, now it is good for you to understand these. I'll call them bars. Okay, so this is the menu bar. This topmost bar here is the menu bar. All right, so here you have the menu, and it changes based on transactions. The next one is called the standard toolbar. It's standard in every transaction, just that the ones that are not required for that transactions are grayed out. Okay, so this icon here is used to enter. You see that it has dropped the label there, enter. All right, this is the command field. This is where you type in transaction codes. I'm going to use it shortly. And then this is to save, is grayed out here. This is to go back. This is to log off if you are here on the SAP Easy Access. This is how you log off the SAP system. Let me click on it, and then you see this is it will ask me if I want to log off. You see, do you want to log off? If I say yes, it's going to log me off the SAP system. All right, so I'll say no to still remain in the system. And then this is to cancel a transaction. This here is to open new sections. Now I want you to note that the SAP system allows you to open up to 6 different sessions. This is just one session. I can click here to open another session. So this is another session opened. All right, so let me go back to the first session that I was. So we can open a maximum of 6 sessions. All right, and then here is your title bar. This is your title bar, and it's very important. It shows you what you are doing per time. Okay, so let me use this place and type ME21N. You see, this is to create, this is a transaction code to create purchase order. If I click here, enter, or I press enter on my keyboard, it brings me. Now you see the title bar shows me what I want to do. I want to create a purchase order. And then this next one is called the application toolbar. It gives you shortcuts that you can use within that application, functions within that application. Okay, you see that the menu bar has changed, but the menu is still there. Then the third one here, or the fifth one rather, is at the bottom here, which is the status bar. All right, when there's an error, that's the bar that will give you. Let me put something like this here and press enter, and then you see it's going to give me an error message. You see, so you say enter purchasing organization. This is an error message. Now when this icon is red, it means it's an error, so you cannot proceed further till you make the required change. If it is yellow, it is a caution. That means you can still go on. If you want to go on, you press enter again, the system will continue to process. If it is green, it is just an information. All right. So I'm going to go back. Do you want to save? I say no. All right. So this, now I want you to take note that the SAP system has three basic transactions. You have the create. Create is when it does not exist. Now let's go to say sales, for instance. Say sales order. Now you see create, change, and display. Create is when it does not exist in the system. Change is when you have created and you want to modify, you want to update. Display is when you just want to see a read only. You cannot edit there. All right, these are the basic transactions that you have, and of course you have the transaction codes. Now, but peradventure you log into your new system as a new user and you don't see the transaction code. How do you activate the transaction code? To activate the transaction code, you go to Extra, you click on Settings, and then you click Display. You select Display Technical Names. If I select this now and press here, click there, you see that it's no longer there again. All right, let's go back to sales. You see that the transaction codes are no longer there. All right, so if I go back and say settings and I select display technical names, then I'm going to have it back again. All right, you can also see that for accounting, payables, account receivables. This is for invoice. Okay, company code. All right, so you see it has header and item level. So you have the header and item level. Okay, so this is how you use the SAP system. Now there are different fields that you need to take note of. Now this is a field. Now if you see that this field is plain field, so it means you have to manually type in something here. But this one you see here has a search icon. So this is not a plain field. So in this case you would need to select. All right, so you need to search. And here you have different search criteria based on how you want to search. Okay, so like in this case now, if I want to search with by my company code, then I can use this. But you can see a list. When you click on this here, on this icon here, you will see the different list. Now if I want to search based on my purchasing organization, I'll use this. And you see that the field would change. So you see the field has changed to vendor purchasing. All right, so depending on what you want to use. So once you select your criteria to filter, okay, now I want to filter, I want only vendors within this purchasing organization, and I click here to continue, start search, and then it's going to search out for me. Good. Now this is from the master record of the vendors. Okay, so basically these are some of the things that you do. Now you can use /n to go back to your easy access without closing that session. But if you had used /i, it will close the session. So now that session has closed, we have only one session. Now if you use /o, it's going to open a new session. Okay, so /o opens a new session. So I now have two sessions. All right, if you use /ne end, it's going to log you out with a prompt. Do you want to log out? So if I say no, but if you use slash NEX, it's going to log you out without a prompt, and that will be the end of this training. Thank you very much for participating, for listening to this video. I really want to encourage you. You can reach out to us and get your SAP training. Thank you. So I'm going to use /n now and click enter, and then it's going to log me out of the SAP system. All right, bye.